Now today there was a huge matchup in the Western Conference between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns, basically deciding who gets the first playoff berth. The Clippers were without Kawhi Leonard, but that's besides the point. Today I'm trying to show some things you might not have noticed during the regular showing of the game, and so I could shed some more light on how the coaches interact with players and how the players interact with players. So here's a play right here with the Los Angeles Clippers. You could hear Tyronn Lue, he says, which is Marcus Morris's number. They're trying to get a post up with him on Torrey Craig. Marcus Morris is a really good post scorer. You can see Reggie Jackson pointing, telling Zubac to go screen for Paul George. Trying to get the attention away from that side of the ball. You can see DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, they're all looking at the screen. And Mikal Bridges is looking at Paul George. So no one's eyes are really on Marcus Morris except Torrey Craig. Then he basically gets a lane to the basket by going behind him. Wide open lane right here. Now that everyone has their eyes on him, it's kind of late. It's a little too late. The flare, the smoke screen that the Clippers did with Paul George and Ivica Zubac worked. So now he's deep in the paint. And one. It's a great call by Tyronn Lue right there. Great call. Excellent execution by the Clippers. Now right here's a play that shows Rajon Rondo's mastery of the offense. Now he's only played like a few games for the Clippers, so him taking advantage of the team and taking a playmaking role right here is very huge for the Clippers. So right here, gets the ball back. He says, "Come on, Luke." Like he wanted to play from Luke Kennard, but he's like, you know what, just go to the corner. Reggie Jackson's like pass it to me. He's like, nah, I know what I'm trying to do. Chris Paul's expecting a screen on the right. Rajon Rondo notices this. And he does this signal right here, means to like tread in place, like stay right there. So you see Chris Paul turning his head around, expecting the screen to the right. So he gives a huge gap, expecting the screen on the right. The way the Suns were playing defense on the screens the whole night, they would bring two people on each side. So that they could just not get any space, and then they would have to over rotate. Rondo sees that, throws a great pass. Frank Kaminsky came too high up. Patrick Patterson, great pass. Smokes a layup. It's crazy. Smoked a layup. There's a great play by Rondo nonetheless. Now here's a play right here that shows how intricate the Suns offense is. As you can see, Paul George does a lob. You see the assistant coach right there? He pats his knee, his left knee. And if you look closely, if you look at Chris Paul right here, he glances over there just a little bit, so you can tell the play is based on what the assistant coach says. Looks over there right then, sees that he's patting to his left side, tells Mikal Bridges to go right side. Then they do basically a give and go double screen on the left side for Devin Booker. And they spread it out to where Mikal Bridges is at the top right, Torrey Craig bottom right. If there's three people involved on the Clippers, on the left side, right side is going to be open. But you can see right here, they leave DeAndre Ayton open. So Marcus Morris has to cycle down. Paul George cycles up to top right. Devin Booker is unable to throw a great pass because if it's a Zubac is anticipating the pass, Marcus Morris is able to slide down. But he does throw kind of a good pass. He gives it to him to where he can center the ball to the opposite side. It's not towards Marcus Morris, it's on the opposite side of Marcus Morris. So he's able to basically draw in a double straight to Chris Paul. And this is probably the most open three anyone's gotten all game. Shows how intricate the Suns offense is. It's really based on what the players want, but it's also based on sometimes what the coaches want. And Monty Williams sometimes gets up and calls plays, but right there, that was the assistant coach right there. Now here's another play right here that shows how intricate the Suns system is. So look at the assistant coach right here. Tells him, Chris Paul tells him to get up because it would have been a 5-second violation. But look at the assistant coach. Chris Paul glances at him and he gives him the sign. pointing up, like by his nose, point up. And so that play means Mikal Bridges goes and screen. You can see Chris Paul bobbing his head like, come screen. Which moves Devin Booker, a great catch and shooter, into the corner area or top right, whichever spot he wants to choose. He chooses top right. So now they get Marcus Morris on Chris Paul. You can see Rondo. He's telling Terrence Mann, he's like, go stay on him. He's like, but he over helps right here. Tells Nicholas Batum, watch out, like slide up a little bit, you can get the angle. But because Rondo itches way too far and Terrence Mann is in between, he's in no man's land basically. He can only get to Mikal Bridges. Devin Booker's so far out, he's not gonna be able to get to him. He finally gets out. Rondo gets back into play. Step back. Pull up. And they get the ball back. So then it happens again. Rajon Rondo again helps way too far, but this time Devin Booker comes in closer. And they get the rebound again. This is it. You're gonna see Rondo again. He does it again. It's just way too close. He's telling him, like, good defense. Rondo way too far in, like way too far in. Maybe somebody as big as Giannis would be able to get away with this, but this is Rondo. No look, straight to the corner. Rondo saw it coming, but he couldn't get there. Mikal Bridges, 3-point play right there. Free throws. Basically icing the game right there. Great call by the Suns coach, didn't work out. But Chris Paul saw something. He saw Rondo coming up too high, so he's trying to take advantage of it. Devin Booker was unable to. Cam Johnson was unable to, but Mikal Bridges was. Now he shoots 3 free throws and basically ices the game. Now, although this is just a little bit of plays, I'm sure it shows that the Clippers and the Suns are teams that use a lot of communication, and it helps them get the edge over their opponents. Now, there was a ton of plays I could have showed from the Phoenix Suns, but they were unable to score and they were unable to cash in on the plays where a coach said something or a player said something, so I didn't put those in. I only put the plays in that mattered to the scoreboard. But this shows that the Suns are the real deal, man, and through communication with Chris Paul, Monty Williams, and all the coaching staff, you can tell that they are on the right path. And the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard was out, and it shows that Rondo and Coach Tyronn Lue, they all have a great communication path.